There are very few lines at Disney World this September as crowds have absolutely collapsed. It's empty, tumbleweeds at Magic Kingdom and beyond. Yet Disney is still charging an arm and a leg to unsuspecting guests who guessed it would be crowded. Today we'll tell you just how much they're being hosed and help you avoid a similar dose of dismal Disney. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back and happy Monday. I know, work is around the corner. Some of you are already starting back on the work week, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, and we are happy to spend the day with you. Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun is with us, as well as Marvin Montanero from That Park Place, as well as Toontown TV and Wrestling. Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel.
Thank you for having us.
Good to be here.
All right, folks, today we're going to be talking about Lightning Lane passes and the fact there's nobody at Disney World. What are you doing buying passes to skip a line when there is no line? And Disney, oh naughty Disney, selling those lightning lanes to poor, unfortunate souls. Folks, we don't want them to separate unnecessary Benjamins from your wallet, so we're here to help you know what's going on. Folks, as we get started, click the like button, and if you've ever used Lightning Lane, drop a comment down below and let us know your experience with it. Places like All Ears, they're even calling Disney out at this point. And by the way, this is the guys, I don't know if you know this. We released a video over the weekend. September right now of 2025 has lower wait times than September of 2020. In the middle of the pandemic, the third month that Disney was back in operations, they had longer wait times then than they do this September, according to Thrill Data. And that's why All Ears.
2021, you meant?
No, 2020. Remember, they came back in July.
Yeah.
Okay. July of 2020. Okay. They had like 10 to 15% normal capacity, plexiglass everywhere, cast members screaming at you if your mask was not over both of your nostrils securely. September, Marvin. So July, August, September of 2020. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'll get it up on the screen. You've caused a diversion, Marvin, but I'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get on this kind of channel. All right, let's go over here. Just so Marvin can see that I'm telling the truth. If I scroll down here, these are wait times. By the way, no, we will continue without disabling. Thank you very much. Magic Kingdom's down 19% month to month. So that's great, eh? All right, if we go down to September, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Okay, folks. Jeez Louise, look at this. September is down to 23 minutes. Average wait time for 2025. Let's go on over to September of 2020. Wow. Average wait time, 26 minutes.
Whoa.
Me.
Seems impossible, doesn't it? Okay, so that said, that's why places like All Ears, they're calling them out and saying, hey, this is a trap. Please.
Bro, you know what makes that worse is in 2020, there was no Fast Pass. So the standby line was artificially inflated because the standby lines are longer when there is Fast Pass in play, right? Because the standby lines have to wait for the Fast Pass lines to go through, right? So that's even worse because there was no line skippability. And you know what's even worse? Ron, they're at DisneyWorld.com. They're still selling the premier Lightning Lane pass for like 400 smackrels. So if you're at a deluxe resort and you'd like to have a Lightning Lane pass so you can skip every non-existent line, you can do so for the cheap price of a bunch of Benjamins. Ron, this is hosing people because if they buy this for September or October, there's nobody there. There's no line to skip. Like the people in standby might get there faster than you depending on your walking speed.
I have said, ever since Lightning Lane came out, I've said there are very few times that you're ever going to need to buy Lightning Lanes, even when the resort is doing well. And what I mean by that is maybe Christmas week, right? Maybe Christmas week. Maybe the heart of spring break in 2022 was like that when post-pandemic pent-up travel was coming out in droves. At this point in time, there is absolutely no need for Lightning Lane. And just to prove that point, about a month ago, and by the way, it was busier a month ago than it is right now, but about a month ago, I was meeting up with a friend at Epcot, and he's like, "Hey, he was in town from a different place, and he bought the Lightning Lane for the day. And said, I have a Lightning Lane right now for Soarin'. Want to come with me?" I'm like, "Okay, hey, actually, this is a really good experience. Let's see what happens in this experiment." So we both hit Soarin' at the same time. He goes Lightning Lane, I go regular. It says there's a 15-minute wait time, but you get to the point where Lightning Lane guests and regular guests merge. I hit that point at the exact same time he hit that point, and the cast member let us in. It was not a 15-minute wait, by the way. It was about a 5-minute wait because I hit that point walking straight in. Then we got to that, and then we were at the ride setup. So I was like, it was crazy, like just proving that unfortunately he had kind of wasted his money, and then he had to ran off after Soarin' to go to, I think it was Frozen Ever After, doing the next Lightning Lane, which that's the other thing. It puts you on this schedule where, because you're trying to get this Lightning Lane, now you're going all the way over to the other side of the park. You can't even do things in order. It's an absolute mess.
Marvin All Ears says this. It says, relatedly, during slower times of the year, slower days, it may not be worth purchasing Lightning Lane at all. During these periods, a vast majority of the rides in each Walt Disney World park can be ridden through a mixture of rope dropping, riding during parades, or waiting until close to the park, until the park is closing. I guess that's a strange way of saying it. They said, I see. Or waiting until close to park closing.
Right.
Oh, darn you, English and the way we spell words. Oh, you almost got me that time, English. Marvin, here's the deal. If there are no lines and you spend $400 per person on Lightning Lane Premier, you're going to have a bad time. There's also the problem, Marvin, of incentive for Disney. Because my belief, and I'm not alleging anything, but my belief is that if I'm Disney and I got all these people who paid a bunch of money to skip a line and there's not going to be a line, I might run the attraction slower than usual. I might take a little bit of extra pause between Haunted Mansion, bringing the people into the stretching room. I might run a little less of the logs on Tiana's. What do you think about that, Marvin?
I saw that in action when I was there on Labor Day. They were letting like 15 people at a time into the stretching room, maybe even less. When we pretty much walked on to the Haunted Mansion, but they normally they pack people into the stretching room. They weren't doing that. They weren't doing that at all. So I can only assume they were trying to make the line a little bit longer. Basically, I mean, look, their strategy, because they'll tell you, and people that will defend Disney to the last breath will tell you, but it's fine because revenue is up, because revenue per guest is up. But that's such a disingenuous thing, because it's up because they're charging for things like Lightning Lane. They're hoping that you're going to pay for the Lightning Lane. You're going to pay $400 for Lightning Lane Premier Pass. Then you're going to pay $400 for what used to be Magical Express and now is a minivan that goes to and from the airport. That's $400 for a round trip now.
And they're hosing you, Marvin. They're hosing you. So how does a family feel? Okay, let's run through some of these prices. Magic Kingdom Multi-Pass. So you can get 3 Lightning Lanes, okay?
Right. Yep.
$23 to $29 is how much it's been for September so far. Now, all of these come from Disney Food Blog. Or what do you got for tomorrow, Marvin? Yeah, today.
Or I guess it would be today, September 8th. $25 per guest for Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Magic.
All right, so let's have fun with that, okay? So a family of 4 today. All right, the park hasn't opened yet at the time of this recording, but family of 4 goes to Magic Kingdom today. We expect it's going to be absolutely uncrowded, like Empty Town, right? Tumbleweeds down Main Street. Dapper Dans are going to dodge the tumbleweeds as they come blowing by. $25 per person in a family of 4 is $100.
Yep.
$100, and you got nothing. You get absolutely nothing.
So, and now on top of that $100, if you want to ride Tron, that's another $21 per person. If you want to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, that's another $13 per person. Because those aren't included in your Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, I don't believe.
Right, so there's an extra $200 on your day, and that's going to be every single day that you're at Disney in September. And the problem is, and this is why I think crowd levels have plummeted, Disney, you sold out your long-term for your short-term. Yeah, it feels great to hose people, I suppose, if you're a Disney exec in the C-suite. Feels great to hose them and get the revenue up. But the problem is, they go home and they tell people, hey, we just went to Disney, and like a vacuum was stuck into my wallet. They just sucked up every dollar we had. We got nothing for it. I feel so badly, for how people are being treated. And that's why we do these, folks. We're not trying to hound Disney. We're not trying to be mean, but we're trying to protect people. We're trying to protect consumers. Ron, we're trying to tell people, don't do this. Don't spend on a service that actually doesn't do anything.
Yeah. So it worries me that that people from maybe the UK, maybe from Canada, from Mexico, from all.
Oh, come on, Ron. The people in the UK, they're so used to being censored, they don't even care anymore. They're not going to say a peep about Disney. They'll be terrified the Popo show up with the paddy wagon for saying something bad about the mouse.
But the point is, like, everybody wants to save money. Like, there's no reason to go out and go, let's see how much money I can spend on something. No, you want to be able to save money, and it inevitably, if you're in a group on Facebook, right, you just ask the question, hey, what do people recommend for lightning lanes? There's going to be people that show up in that group and absolutely 100% recommend lightning lane every single time, no matter what. I see it constantly in these groups, and it bothers me. And I try to let.
Now wait a minute, hold on, Ron. When you talk about these groups, are you talking about influencers, or are you talking about just general people in
general group information?
Okay, because I can explain why the influencers do it.
Well, there may be influencers in the group trying to do it. There's certainly travel agents in the group trying to do it, because I'm sure that the travel agents make commission on that. Good for them. Great.
Yep.
But my point is that as an advocate for guests, it's funny because even when I was a cast member, I always considered myself a guest advocate. I wanted guests to get the most out of it and have the best time for the least amount of money they could. Probably wasn't supposed to do that, but I always did, just because I always felt for the guest, because I put myself in their position. And I have said time and time again, especially right now, there is literally no need to buy this quote unquote lightning lane product when all of the wait times are such that you're not going to need them, at least not at Disney World. This is very different than, say, Epic Universe right now. Epic Universe is packed. It's a brand new park. People want to go see it. It's filling up. I guess that's where people are, because nobody's at Disney.
Look at these pictures. These pictures. What site is this that you're scrolling through right now?
Fantasyland News. I've just discovered them, and I like them. They might not like us. I don't know, but I like them because
very few of them like us. But we've been doing these articles for forever, and we get yelled and screamed at and called disingenuous and all this, that, and the other thing. But now you're seeing all of these other platforms are now starting to do these "There's no one at Disney World" articles that we've been telling you for a year. Don't
you claim that they're trying to finally catch on to our parade, okay? Truth with a capital T. They're a little late to the party. Marvin, I'll tell you this, it has been so bad. And I'll bring up the chart again so people can see, and we do this over and over and over. We have to show this so that people know we're not making up. Marvin, it's been so bad that when we have posted videos that you have taken personally, and Ron has taken personally in the parks, people will be looking at the shadows, trying to see if we're faking it by showing a video from early in the morning or late in the evening or something like that. Like, they're checking to see if they can find rain puddles to prove that we took it right after a storm. And it's like, people, it's empty. And then we'll have other people who say, well, it's not actually empty because there's 3 people on Main Street, so technically it's not empty. Well, thank you, Snopes. Great job. No, we don't mean it's actually empty. We're being a little hyperbolic. It's almost empty.
It's pretty bad.
It's not a Twilight Zone episode, but it's close.
Right.
And here's something very interesting. So if you want to see it not empty, there's a very particular time of the day in the Magic Kingdom when it's not empty, and that is sitting right in front of the castle right before the fireworks Happily Ever After began, which I think now the Starlight Parade is right before that. Okay, if you're in the castle hub right at the time that the Starlight Parade and the fireworks are about to happen, it's going to seem busy in that area right then and there. Here's what I found to be very interesting. After Happily Ever After the fireworks, the first show, there is often a second parade, and even cast members will tell you, look, if you want to get really good shots, like when you're videoing, say if we want to get really good shots of the parade, wait until the late parade because there's nobody around. You can get whatever shot you want. The cast members are saying that.
Right, absolutely. Listen, there aren't many people there. It's not going to change in the near future, we don't believe. Yeah, you might find a day, you might find a holiday, but Labor Day, it wasn't crowded. So there's that. We just don't want people to be ripped off. And the fact that Disney continues to sell Lightning Lane at these crazy costs, guys, just to put a bow on this thing, you think about how much we're saving people just by telling them the truth, okay? This is a service we're doing. Let's say that the family of 4 spends $100, and then we'll add, Marvin, those other premier Lightning Lanes, okay? So let's say it's $200, all right? So let's say they spend $200 extra on 4 days in the parks, because there are 4 parks, so I think that's fair. That's $800. That is $800 that did nothing. That did absolutely nothing. So what we're doing here is we're like, hey, we're trying to save you nearly $1,000 that you will gain nothing by using it right now.
Yeah.
And I think I'll tell you, I'll go a little extreme, Marvin. I'm pretty libertarian on stuff. I kind of think that Florida ought to step into this and say, you have to disclose how much time people actually are saving at any, on a typical month, typical day, etc.
But you know what? There used to be entire guidebooks written about like how to save money through your Disney vacation, ways to cut corners and make your experience cheaper. And somewhere along the line, Pro, it became less about advocating for the guest and more about advocating for Disney to take as much money from people as humanly possible. And that's all we're really trying to do here is being like, look, guys, you can save money on your vacation. You can make it more affordable if you forego doing this. Maybe it means you wait in a 25-minute line or something like that. Maybe there's a 45-minute wait for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or something like that in the middle of the day. But, you're going to save $800, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Plus, that definitely goes in the not a bad thing category. Ron, wrap this thing up for us. What do you got?
Just very simply put, I mean, when you think about the fact that you are, I get the idea, time is money, and that's what people believe that they are paying for. That's what they're coaxed into believing that they're paying for. But I'm looking right now at the premier Lightning Lanes, just how much those cost for today, September the 8th, $379 per guest at the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
That's if you have a family of 4, that's what, close to $1,600 when you put tax into that for a day? That's not a VIP tour. It just means that you're guaranteed going on every single ride. That doesn't count the times that the rides are closed, or maybe the half of the park goes down because there's an electrical outage or whatever.
The wait times are 10 and 5 minutes for most of this stuff, which means you can walk on it. Sometimes the queue takes 10 minutes to walk through. That's Pirates, right?
Think about what you can do with that $1,600 that you saved. How much? I mean, that's an event. That's a major event. You can do all kinds of things, like the gifts. You can shower your kids with gifts.
Ron, do you know
Royal Caribbean cruise?
Do you know how many zebra domes at Animal Kingdom Lodge I could consume for $1,600?
You can consume a lot of those zebra domes, and we know how much you love the zebra domes.
Come on down, folks.
Zebra domes.
Come on down. Enjoy zebra domes with Pro. We'll call it Diabetes Day.
It's a good time, that's for sure. It's just, the amount of money that could be, if you have that money, all I'm saying is I think it's better spent if you redirect to merchandise or other experiences rather than wasting it on Lightning Lane that is not going to save you time.
Right. Go to and get the meal plan, or go to Le Cellier. Go to one of the more expensive restaurants. Go to California Grill if they didn't have the prefix menu. There's plenty of other things you could spend your money on that's not Lightning Lane.
There you go,
buy
folks.
Drinks at the Beacon Barrel.
The Beacon Barrel, eh?
Don't do that. Don't get drunk at Magic Kingdom.
It's the Magic Kingdom. It's for the kids. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end yet again of another video of excellence where we have attempted to save the consumer money and help them understand what the mouse is doing. You can help us send this out far and wide across the fruited plains of the YouTubes by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And again, drop that comment and tell us what has been your experience with Lightning Lane. Get over there and subscribe immediately to follow the Bradley's Fun, as well as Marvin Montanaro over on Tooneytown TV and Tooneytown Wrestling. And make sure to bookmark thatparkplace.com. We want to send a special shout out to some of our friends that we've been able to spend time with. I know that Ron and Marvin have been spending time with that real-life fake wizard guy who turns out I think to be 6'7" and a muscular man indeed. So, folks, go over there and subscribe to our friend Real Life Fake Wizard. And I had the opportunity to spend time with Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge. Folks, if you're not tuning in to Midnight's Edge with Tom and Andre, make sure to do so every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for us. We're out of here, but we've got more content on the way, so do not fret, not yet, for 3 more videos are coming out this day. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun. And don't spend $1,000 to do so. That's crazy.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube, one of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga.
He's Jose.
That one seems a little bit foreign to you.